በዓለም ላይ ካሉት እጅግ ውብ አብያተ ክርስቲያናት ከኢትዮጵያ እስከ ብራዚል። እራስህን እንደ መንፈሳዊ ሰው ብትቆጥርም ባታደርግም በጉዞ ወቅት የተቀደሱ ቦታዎችን ስለመጎብኘት ልዩ ነገር አለ። እነዚህ መዋቅሮች የቦታና የማህበረሰብ ስሜትን ብቻ ሳይሆን ብዙውን ጊዜ በየትኛውም መድረሻ ውስጥ ከሚገኙት በጣም አስደናቂ ሕንፃዎች መካከል ጥቂቶቹ ናቸው። በባርሴሎና ውስጥ በጋውዲ የተነደፈ ድንቅ ሥራ፣ በኢትዮጵያ ምድር ውስጥ የሚገኝ ካቴድራል ወይም በስሎቬንያ ደሴት ላይ ያለች ትንሽ የጸሎት ቤት የአብያተ ክርስቲያናትን የውበት ስዕል መካድ አይቻልም እና እነዚህ 17 የማይታመን መዋቅሮች ለአንግሎቻቸው ተጨማሪ ትኩረት ይስባሉ። እኛም በዓለም ላይ ያሉ ውብ አብያተ ክርስቲያን ካቴድራሎችን ልናስጎበኛችሁ ወደድን።
Number 1, St. Basil's Cathedral, Moscow, Russia. St. Basil's Cathedral is a bright, almost psychedelic site in the middle of Moscow's Red Square, thanks to its colorful domes and swirling patterns. Even today, the candy-colored creation, commissioned by Ivan the Terrible in the mid-1500s, still seems to rise like a dream in the center of the modern city. Number 2, Hallgrímskirkja, Reykjavik, Iceland. Designed to resemble the basalt lava that flows in Iceland, the church looks like a strong upside-down V made of tall, thin white beams. Even though the exterior is striking, make sure you visit the inside as well. There's a sculpture of the famous explorer Leif Erikson and an observatory at the top where you can get breathtaking views of Reykjavik. Number 3, Gurjati Trinity Church, Georgia. Hiking through Georgia's Caucasus Mountains is a vacation in its own right. One of the essential stops on your trek should be the Gurjati Trinity Church, a 14th century structure that can be reached within an hour or two from the base town of Spentsminda. Let's just say that attending a candlelit mass above the cloud line at 7,100 feet is one you won't forget. Number 4, Notre Dame Basilica, Montreal, Canada. Built in the 1820s in Old Montreal, Notre Dame Basilica is a stunning example of the Gothic Revival style, featuring two soaring towers, hundreds of intricate wooden carvings, and a looming Cassavant Freres pipe organ that dates back to 1891. Be sure not to miss Moment Factory's astounding aura, a ticketed 45-minute multimedia spectacle that combines lights, orchestral music, and the grandiose architecture in a unique 3-act experience. Number 5, Church of the Transfiguration, Kizy Island, Russia. Located on Lake Onega in the Republic of Karelia, Kizy Island is basically one big open-air museum containing dozens of historical wooden buildings, the most famous of which is the Church of the Transfiguration. The 22-dome structure was built in 1714, and is famous for one major engineering feat: not a single nail was used in the construction. Instead, the church was built with horizontal logs that interlock in the corners, think next-level Lincoln logs. It's definitely something that has to be seen to be believed. Number 6, Cathedral of Brasilia, Brazil. From the outside, the 16 concrete pillars that form the structure of the Cathedral of Brasilia resemble a strange UFO. From the inside, the sweeping panes of blue and green stained glass make this one of the most beautiful churches in the world. The cathedral, designed by famed architect Oscar Niemeyer, also features sculptures of angels hanging from the ceiling and a reflecting pool encircling the building. Number 7, Duomo di Milano, Italy. The magnificent white Gothic cathedral in Milan is home to more statues than any other in the world, around 3,500 in total, about 2/3 of which are part of its gargoyle-lined roof, alongside 135 spires. Take the audio guide tour of the interior to get the most out of your visit, or climb the 150 steps to the roof, where you can enjoy spectacular views over the city. Number 8, Church of the Assumption, Lake Bled, Slovenia. There's a reason Lake Bled is one of Slovenia's most popular sites. With its emerald waters, views of the Julian Alps, and Disney-like castle on a hill, you won't be short of picture-perfect views. But its most beautiful site is the Church of the Assumption on a tiny island in the middle of the lake, a charming, 17th century building that even has a wishing bell that guests can ring. Number 9, Chapel of the Holy Cross, Sedona, Arizona. Conceived by sculptor Marguerite Brunswick-Stad in 1932, this passion project in Sedona's Red Rocks wasn't completed until 1957, but the wait was certainly worth it. The Chapel of the Holy Cross, as its name suggests, is defined by its forward-facing, 90-foot cross that looks over the surrounding Arizona landscape. Number 10, La Sagrada Familia, Barcelona, Spain. Easily one of the most recognizable churches in the world, La Sagrada Familia is such a feat of perfection that it famously may never be finished, but that shouldn't stop you from visiting the Barcelona landmark. You'll have to fight the 4.5 million annual visitors for the best views, but once you look up and see those towering vaults and rainbow-stained glass, you can't help but gasp out loud. Number 11, Borgen Stave Church, Norway. Built around 1180, the Borgen Stave Church is one of Norway's finest examples of a stave church, wooden structures defined by their corner posts and timber frames. Although no longer used for religious purposes, the landmark now serves as a visitor's center with comprehensive information about Norwegian stave churches, dozens of which can be found around the country. Number 12, Church of St. George, Lalibela, Ethiopia. In northern Ethiopia, the small town of Lalibela is known for its 11 medieval churches carved out of monolithic rock. The churches, which date all the way back to the 12th century, come complete with catacombs and ceremonial passages. Some even have networks of trenches that connect them to the other buildings. Although ancient, the structures still welcome pilgrimages today. Number 13, the Pilgrimage Church of Wise, Stingaden, Germany. With its bright colors and exuberant frescoes, the UNESCO-listed Church of Wise is a masterpiece of Rococo architecture with the added bonus of a scenic alpine setting. Though it was finished in 1754, nearly 1 million pilgrims still travel to the site annually. Number 14, Las Lajas Sanctuary, Nariño, Colombia. Las Lajas Sanctuary in Colombia is one of the most unusual churches in the world, due to its precarious location 150 feet over a river gorge. The site first served as a shrine in the 1700s following a reported sighting of the Virgin Mary's image in the rocks, and the current Gothic-style church was built in the early 1900s. Number 15, Basilique du Sacré-Cœur, Paris, France. The second tallest structure in all of Paris, topped only by the Eiffel Tower, the Basilique du Sacré-Cœur is a Catholic basilica that sits on the city's highest hill, in Montmartre. The basilica stands out with its white stone facade and Byzantine architecture, and inside, features a colorful ceiling that is covered by the largest mosaic in all of France. Number 16, St. Patrick's Cathedral, New York City. St. Patrick's Cathedral is perhaps the best known of New York City's holy sites. The neo-Gothic Roman Catholic Church, erected between 1858 and 1878, sits pretty among the skyscrapers on Fifth Avenue, becoming a flurry of activity during daily mass services and the occasional wedding, of course. Number 17, Monasteries of Meteora, Greece. As if still standing monasteries from the 15th century weren't impressive enough, the buildings of Meteora are famously situated on nearly inaccessible sandstone peaks in central Greece. Brave travelers can pay a visit to the Monastery of the Holy Trinity, one of 6 monasteries that are still standing, via a 140-step staircase cut into the side of the cliff.